What is up, everybody? Welcome in dfsarmy MLB pre-lock show on Wednesday. I think it is 6-game DK slate, 9-game FanDuel slate. I just woke up from a 30-minute nap. First 30-minute nap I've taken in years, and tattoo, I hated it. 30 minutes is not long enough for a nap.
No, that's long enough to get you ready to just stay asleep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The 30 minutes really was like 15 minutes of sleeping and
15 minutes of
15
wishing you could
minutes
stay
of
asleep.
wishing I was, had been sleeping for an hour longer. So, yeah, not enjoyable. Waking up to catch up on what happened over the last half an hour of this daytime slate of games, and realize that I'm just getting killed on underdog. I'm not doing the greatest on DK. So, how's your day going?
Not too bad. I too just woke up, but um, mine was from I guess maybe about a 6 hour slump. So, but like I didn't go to bed until 9 o'clock this morning or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's a little different. I did go to bed at 3 o'clock this morning, so um, but yeah, little later start time because I was thinking we just had the DK 6 games. I was an idiot, didn't realize FanDuel was the full 9. Um, so like in
Well,
regards to the difference between the two, like FanDuel adds a couple of other pitchers that are questionable. Like this whole pitching night is questionable to me. So it is what it is. I'll switch over
yeah,
here to FanDuel
all right.
just to give it a
Somebody's not listed. Got a picture listed because I just went by the three early games. It shows Parker, Foster, Griffin, Valdez, Peterson, Junk, and Malinsky.
Who is it? Oh, it's somebody that's not in the pitcher pool for Washington. Uh, Kent, I believe, is starting for Washington from my earlier look at things.
So I guess on FanDuel, well, it's a, it's six. Ranger Suarez is 16%. Then Griffin's 14, Soriano 13, Valdez 12, Miller 9, Mahal 9. So it's really spread out with them, which you'll lose two of those, I guess, on DK.
yeah, you're losing Framber Valdez and Foster Griffin.
Yeah.
Who are super volatile. Uh, I will tell you that on FanDuel, I built one lineup right before we jumped on. It's down to either playing Bryce Miller or Foster Griffin are the two guys that I'm choosing between on FanDuel as my top guy. Which then tells me it's Bryce Miller as the top guy on DK. Just like, just building and looking at how I wanted my lineup to look like.
Yeah.
So that I'm kind of using that to dictate. I guess maybe on FanDuel you can play David Peterson, because Washington's lineup's kind of fallen off. Plus, obviously, trading away Luis Garcia, Curtis Mead, James Wood on the IL. David Peterson's probably in play. Makes you feel kind of gross doing it, but I think that's about it. Offensive wise, for those first 3 games, I'm just probably just cover those 3 games quick, and then we'll switch over more DK because You need
Yeah.
more pitching on DK. So, yeah, I mean, Cubs and Washington, right? That game's totals what, 9.5 ish?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I mean, the best game on the slate.
Yeah, some bats for Pittsburgh, maybe. Uh, like Brandon Lau probably makes a lot of sense. He's probably all I can think of right now off the top of my head, but maybe Brian Reynolds. A little bit of Cleveland just because, Framber obviously can fall apart.
Yeah.
A little bit of Detroit, I think, because Dylan Dingler is just always in play. Um, and then like Labor, Javi Baez can hit left-handed pitching, but Detroit's one of those teams I just much prefer against right-handed pitching. Riley Green went on the IL, so like that's going to make their lineup weaker as well. And then it's the Cubs ultimately. Washington is throwing a left-handed pitcher. Do with that what you might, but like PCA still hits left-handed pitching. Suzuki, Bregman, I think Bush is fine, but yeah, they're really the main offense that I want to target from those first three gamers for FanDuel purposes is the Cubs. Back to pitching overall, if I look at it from a DK sense, I already mentioned that I think Bryce Miller is my top pitcher, and he's 6th in DK ownership. Now, this slate has a bunch of pitchers that come in, or at least today in general, had a bunch of pitchers coming in not at the top of their games.
Yeah.
Bryce Miller struggled a lot recently. Will Warren had one really strong start and then a bunch of bad ones. Soriano. Suarez is still ramping up from coming back from the IL, pitch count wise. So like we just have a bunch of questionable spots. So when we have that, I just want to go to the guy that I think has like the most K upside for a matchup, and that's got to be Bryce Miller, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was looking at Eric Lauer chalk and getting like nauseous.
I mean, I'm looking at Luis Castillo chalk and I'm puking.
Yeah.
I get that Cincinnati hasn't been super dangerous, but they're still hitting home runs. I was looking at their numbers over the last week to 10 days. Like they're striking out enough and they're hitting around 200 or under, but they're hitting home runs. So like that's one of those offenses that I think gets overlooked tonight. I haven't even looked at their ownership numbers, but from a GPP winning upside, like the Cincinnati Reds feel like that's the team. I mean, Jose Soriano, super chalk. The way that he's pitched the last 2 months doesn't feel great, especially because it's against, Boston, who had been the hottest or second hottest team over the last month and a half, or whatever it is. So that just feels weird. I mean, I'm down at the bottom, really playing a bunch of Cal Quantrill, sprinkling in some Zach Thornton, some Will Warren. Like, I'm playing those guys more than Eric Lauer.
What about Tyler Mahle?
I will play him, but I have this worry about chasing his first start with Atlanta because he really hadn't been that guy. Now, he does have 9 strikeouts in back-to-back starts, but
I mean, he's got these were with San Francisco, but he's got a 16 in there, and there was a 9, but 3 other of his last 5, he's had over 20.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is like pitching in San Francisco. Because he's not I know he struck out 9 each of the last 2, but he's not a big K guy.
Yeah.
And the Mets offense has been pretty good recently. They're probably coming down a little bit from that stretch that they had over 3 or 4 games, but
from their first inning 2 nights ago.
yeah, well, that too. The first 2 innings and then nothing. But I mean, I'd rather play Tyler Mahle than Jose Soriano.
Yeah.
I mean, I might rather play Tyler Mahle over Ranger Suarez. That's feels somewhat bold, but I also don't think they're gonna jam Suarez out there for 90 pitches just yet. So like I think it's more of a slow ramp up. Toronto lineup looks so bad. Like Springer's not in it, and then you see like Bateman's hitting second, McAdoo's leading off. It just does not look that great. So I think there's a little more K upside in that matchup than we traditionally are used to. But still, like Ranger Suarez, if he only throws 75 pitches, does he end up the best starting pitcher on the slate? And we just got an ownership refresh. So we just got a couple big changes in ownership. Soriano dropped from 2nd to 4th.
Mahal, sheesh.
Tyler Mahle jumped 10% or so. Suarez dropped 5%. Bryce Miller jumped, what is that, 3 or 4%?
People must have heard us talking.
All right. So now we got 5 guys at 23.5% or higher. We have 6 guys at basically 19% plus on DraftKings.
I was so excited to play Mahal, like in my single entry. I mean, still am. But him being down there like 3rd or 4th owned was much more exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to be super happy to play Will Warren, Cal Quantrill, and Zach Thornton tonight is really what it's turning out to be. Because to me, like, based on everything we have, there's no clear-cut, like, studs to jam in.
Yeah.
If Bryce Miller had been pitching better over the last 2 weeks, then yes, he would be number 1. If Ranger Suarez was super healthy, he'd be, 1B or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Suarez in single digits, 3 of his last 4 starts.
Yeah, I mean, one of those is when he got hurt.
Yeah.
I think. Or,
well, yeah, I mean, he went 3 innings, 4 1/3, 4 and 2 1/3. 3, 4 2/3, 4 and 2 2/3.
Yeah, pitch count things too. Because one of those was 4 innings of shutout baseball, and I think that was against Toronto.
Yeah, no, there were like
correctly
70. He went from 53 to 64 to 65 up to 70. So
yeah, so like I don't think we see a jump to 85 based on that trajectory. I think we see more of the 75. So that's kind of why like I have to downgrade him a little bit. Problem is like if we're constantly downgrading every name we look at,
we're not
then
gonna have
it really doesn't matter. Like, it's just a bad slate for pitching. I can't believe that Cal Quantrill is super low owned given that he faces the Angels and he's coming off of a really strong performance. I mean, I don't love Cal Quantrill in general, but when you have one of the 3 best matchups in all of baseball for a pitcher, like he should be higher owned than 6%.
No, Castillo has one of the better. Well, I mean, they're still pretty low, aren't they? Cubs in the bottom 5, maybe. I mean, Cubs, White Sox,
the
Reds. Yeah, Reds.
I mean, the 3 main strikeout matchups are the Angels, the Reds, and the Pirates, right? So you have the Pirates on this one too, but you have Jansen Junk against them for FanDuel purposes, and that just does not feel right. Luis Castillo just isn't good. Like that's the problem. So I can't go down the Luis Castillo road.
No, not really. $200 more. You got Mahal right there.
Well, that and I get to play Cal Quantrill for $1,300 less.
$1,300 less.
In a similar matchup with a little less power to deal with, right? Like, because the Angels lineup has gotten worse because they traded away Joe Adell, they DFA'd Soler, right? So like they've lost power in the middle lineup. Now those guys did strike out a bit more, but they were actually dangerous hitters. So I mean, I don't know, like there isn't a whole lot of separation, right? Like you look at Zach Thornton's projection at 13.66. His projection is better than Will Warren and Eric Lauer, right? His projection is almost the same as Tyler Mahle is, but yet he's 2.5% when Mahle is 34.5%. Eric Lauer is 23.5% owned. Will Warren's almost 19% owned. So this is one where, like, since the slate for me is so gross, I'm just gonna play ownership and be heaviest on Thornton, Quantrill, Warren, and then Bryce Miller. Kind of almost flip the board, right, that we're looking at right now. Aside from Miller, even though I think Miller, from a raw GPP upside, like he probably has the highest ceiling on the slate. I mean, I'm not playing Daniel Lynch because he's opening. Even though, shout out Daniel Lynch, he was on my 50K winning build a couple years ago, back when he actually started a regular game rather than was pitching out of the bullpen. I'm not playing Rhett Lauder. Like, this is one of the first pitchers I'm not playing against the White Sox over the last couple weeks. And I'm not playing George Klassen, even though there is some prospect pedigree there. He's just been terrible in the majors, like just a ton of walks. So, yeah. I mean, we can keep talking about pitching, and all you're going to hear me say is how terrible it is. So that thought, like on FanDuel, maybe you just play a bunch of Foster Griffin and Framber Valdez, some Peterson, and then Bryce Miller, and you kind of go from there. Like, Framber has a ton of ceiling, but super low floor. I think Foster Griffin's going to be a little better in his second start with Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of why I'm intrigued over there. But to me, it's just a bunch of dudes that are the same. So I think part of me wants to just focus on my main stack first and then figure out pitching after that first 5-man or 4-man stack or whatever. Do you kind of see it the same way, or are you still wanting to pinpoint your pitchers first?
I don't know. Tonight's a tough one to figure out. I have to right now. I started with Mahal. However you say his name, Mahal Mahle. Him and Warren as my single entry right now. But I think, if getting the bats I want needed to change or left that could dictate my pitching.
Yeah, Drago, I am not. I am very anti Luis Castillo. To me, when I first logged in and saw projected ownership, he was immediately the guy that was going to make my article today, because Luis Castillo does not deserve to be owned 20+% on DK. He just isn't good. The last number of years, he's had horrendous time pitching away from Seattle. And now that he's not even in Seattle as the comfort home park, like I don't see it. Cincinnati does provide K upside, but Cincinnati's still hitting home runs, and that's key. Which is why look here, right? We're looking at the leverage stacks. They have the second best pitcher wOBA matchup on the slate. So they're one of my favorite stacks tonight. we finally see the LA Dodgers at the top. Maybe we should look at FanDuel so we can just see all the teams. So we get the Chicago Cubs at the top over there, which makes sense to you, right?
Yeah, I think when I flicked it shows, unless I'm sorted about something else, but it shows Texas, Washington, White Sox, Cubs.
Yeah, I don't. I have it. I just refreshed, and I have the Cubs at the top, Dodgers second.
Well, the Cubs are, man, that's
You're looking at the leverage rank number, right? Texas is number one. Washington's number two.
yeah.
White Sox, yeah.
I'm just looking at it from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm just looking total ownership wise. Cubs are at the top. Dodgers are number two. So we finally get the Dodgers to jump back up in ownership when everybody's been jumping off because they've been cold. Now it upsets me because I've been on the Dodgers the whole time. It almost makes me feel like I have to be underweight on the Dodgers, and that's probably not the way to go about it.
Well, they're facing a bullpen game. So.
It is virtually a bullpen game, which Kansas City bullpen hasn't been great. I am a little surprised at Atlanta at number 3 in total ownership.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you have to go somewhere a little bit, but I just didn't think it'd be that, to where it's more than double what the White Sox ownership is.
I know. I really liked Atlanta, and then I saw their ownership, and I was like,
It's not the best matchup for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like Thornton's been solid. Atlanta's not the best against left-handed pitching, as you see over here, in the 2 out of the 3 furthest right columns. Batter Woba for Atlanta against left-handed pitching puts them at 15th on the FanDuel slate out of the 18 teams. Pitcher-wise, it puts them at 16th out of the 18 pitchers, right? So, it's not the greatest matchup for Atlanta. So, I have Atlanta ranked well below this. Obviously, my rank on site doesn't include the FanDuel teams.
Yeah.
But, my top 2 teams are the Dodgers and the Chicago White Sox.
Chicagoland.
I mean, I'm going to always pick on Rhett Lauder, who doesn't strike anybody out.
Yeah.
I don't love the fact that Miguel Vargas isn't in the lineup for the White Sox. Don't really like I don't even know if is Chase Meredroth, is he in the lineup yet? Because he had missed multiple games because of a wrist injury.
Yeah, he's confirmed batting 6th.
He is playing shortstop. So I have some worries about him because a wrist thing, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still going to be in play. But I think the White Sox, I'm really just picking on Rhett Lauder. The more I look at it, the more I think maybe I should move Texas or the Reds ahead of them. But, as of right now, they're number, 1B or whatever. If I was including the FanDuel teams, it would be the Cubs and Dodgers at the top. I'd be pretty chalky at the top.
Yeah, I was looking at the White Sox. God damn it, this thing. White Sox lineup. Montgomery, Benintendi, Doyle, Peters in the outfield. Infield, you only got, looks like your choices are, you got Murakami, Meredith and Colson, Montgomery.
Yeah, and that's what Antonacci playing second base. Yeah.
But I think he's only outfield eligible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking to play much for Tristan Peters.
Yeah.
He's been horrendous in the second half. So then it's like, am I playing Doyle or am I going to play Braden Montgomery? Braden Montgomery is a better lineup spot, so it's probably playing Braden Montgomery
Yeah.
because you're playing Antonacci, and then you're going to play Benintendi, right? So let's see.
It looks so weird seeing Adley Rutschman up there with
Boston, yeah. Who's your favorite stack below the Yankees on this list? So Pittsburgh down, all like 27% or lower.
Let's see. Shit. Washington.
Mine's gonna be the New York Mets, second from the bottom. It just feels super low for having a few guys that are somewhat warm, right? Like
Yeah.
Lindor, Bichette, Benj, even like AJ Ewing, and even Semien. I guess Jared Young's been good too. Like, so they just have plenty of dudes that have been solid recently that I think they should be much higher owned than like Seattle, higher owned than Cleveland, higher owned than Pittsburgh. Um, I'm torn on Washington because the lineup's gotten to be so bad now, right? Without James Wood, without Luis Garcia, without Curtis Mead, especially against left-handed pitching. Um, and they're also like, there's a chance that they pinch hit for a couple of guys too as soon as a right-handed pitcher comes in.
Yeah.
That always weakens things for me, especially because like their number 2 hitter is Chaparro, and he's going to get pinch hit for by Ortiz. Like they've strictly platooned those two guys at first base. So it's like a key lineup spot, but then like, is he just going to get 2 at bats then? So I don't know. Like season long numbers scream you should be playing Washington, right?
Yeah.
Like they're number 1 in batter wOBA against left-handed pitching. They're not number 1 in the league, but just number 1 on the slate, and their wOBA is off of left-handed pitching, making them the number 2 leverage stack. But do you also try to take into account what they've been the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Is my biggest question. Are you surprised to see Boston at only 25% combined ownership?
A little bit. I think people are, I guess, like jumping off of that now with them starting to cool off, but still on this size slate, I'm surprised that they're that low.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that they're that low owned while the Yankees, are 16+% higher owned than them.
Yeah.
When the Yankees have been so bad offensively. Plus, to me, they face a better pitcher. Now, obviously, Soriano's had some pretty good starts this year, but I think Bryce Miller is just a better pitcher than Jose Soriano. So, like, seeing that is kind of shocking to me. I don't know, like, do you have any interest in Kansas City against Lauer?
I feel like you kind of have to. It's just not a whole lot of bets I'm running to on Kansas City.
I think I would have been a lot more interested in them tonight if Blake Snell didn't just absolutely dominate them last night as a left-handed pitcher. Now, like Eric Lauer's not going to strike out that many Royals, right?
Yeah.
Completely different style of left-handed pitcher, but it's kind of a bad taste, and they do have the lowest implied run total on the slate. Yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about Miami. Miami is one of those teams that I think you can always kind of like. Maybe they're a lot like Milwaukee, right? Especially now with Stowers on the IL.
Yeah.
Like you don't really play them as one-offs. So if you want to play Miami, you just fully stack them and that's it because you need multiple guys to perform. You know, like Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards are guys that aren't going to carry you by themselves. I mean, Mladzinski's been fine, but he's not somebody that you should be afraid of
Yeah.
when you're stacking. I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on offenses or any teams that stand out to you that we haven't touched on?
No, I don't think so.
A little bit of a shorter show, I think, just overall because obviously
it's smaller slate too. I mean,
smaller slate and the fact that it's just
cartoon.
it's not the greatest slate, really,
Yeah.
right? So when that happens, like it's easier to dismiss a bunch of guys or whatever. We might as well go position by position. We'll use FanDuel just to make it easier. If you give out some FanDuel plays at a position, I'm going to try to get some DK plays or whatever, just so we can cover both. But I'll let you go first. I'll go second. You give out your dongs. We'll get out of here. And yeah.
Let's see. I like Drake Baldwin. If I'm trying to go cheap, I might grab like a Harry Ford or something. But I do also like, if you're looking for a really cheap guy and you want to throw him in there, Sean Murphy, just if you want to get some of that Braves, those Braves bats, and he'll probably be pretty low owned. First base, Olsen is just on fire. I mean, hard to go against him. Second base, probably going to be shit. If I can play Luis Garcia Jr. at second, I'll play Luis Garcia Jr. at second. Third base. God, this is a tough slate. I feel like I'm going to be a broken record here. But, probably Jose Ramirez. Third base, shortstop, Corey Seager. Outfield, Pete. Nemo Harris. You can play Jock in the outfield on FanDuel. That's probably about it.
Man,
I guess Dylan Cruz or something if you want some people from Washington.
Yeah. For those of you that are on DK Pick 6, in the next 6 minutes, you should probably head over there to your rewards and claim a 125% boost token. Max win on that is $100. But still 125% boost on Pick 6. Pretty awesome. I think cuts off at 5 o'clock Central Time. So claim that token. I will be using that shortly as soon as we get off the show, I think. Yeah, you kind of looked towards FanDuel. I'm going to switch it over to DraftKings just because it's easier for me to understand since that's all I play, really. But my catcher play is the same on each site. It's just that you don't have to play him on FanDuel. Alejandro Kirk, small sample size, but he's 3 for 5 against Ranger Suarez. 4% owned, like just super low owned on a slate where I don't love catching. So why not go with Kirk as a one-off? First base, it's going to be Jock Peterson for me. I know you mentioned him.
Outfield, yeah.
Or
he's outfield only on FanDuel.
Yeah, and he's first base only on DK.
Only on, yeah.
Annoys me. Yeah, so it's Jock, and then it's Murakami as my number 2 guy. I am going to attack Rhett Lauder wherever possible. Second base, I hate the position a lot. Ozzy Albies is probably the one I'm going with, but he's super popular. If you want to be off the wall a little bit, then a Brett Beatty. Super low owned, and obviously I like the Mets. Third base is Eugenio Suarez. Has taken Luis Castillo deep, and I think he has 4 home runs over the last week. So give me Suarez, which is probably the first time in 2 years that I've recommended Eugenio Suarez, if I'm being honest. Shortstop. I'm going to have to look at it's probably Francisco Lindor. I'm going to have to look at my sheet for sure. Lindor's at the top for me, and then if you want to spend up, just coin flip between Ellie and Bobby Witt. Outfield, we see the chalk is all the Dodgers.
Yeah.
My chalk is going to be Brandon Nimmo, who just keeps hitting. So I'm going to gladly play an outfielder who's sub 4K on DK that just keeps getting on base. But then mix in with, I don't know, JJ Bleday. Feels like it's a spot where JJ goes deep. I am going to play a bunch of Wilyer Abreu because he just is hot. Super unknown. Carson Bench, another guy that I'm playing a bunch of on this slate. That's it. Why don't you give out some dongs, and then we'll get out of here so we can get building, and then we'll be back in 48 hours-ish, 47 hours.
Let me see that. Dong, 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 dong. I like Cunha, Caglione. I can see this being an Ozzy night. Julio. I like Michael Harris. Let me see if I can find some. Is Shapiro in the lineup for Washington?
Yeah, he'll get 2 at bats.
Yeah. And I like your JJ Bleday call. And that's probably good. Corey Seager.
Yeah, I don't really have any additional. I haven't done enough digging into the dongs on the slate. Trying to sweat out a couple min caches in the big underdog draft GPP. Gonna need Dustin May to do a little something here.
Double dongers. You got double dong candidate.
I mean, anybody should want a double dong for gears.
Yeah.
I mean,
Caglione.
Wilson Contreras will probably double dong for gears. Gears is a big Boston fan. So he's super happy that they acquired Adley and gave up next to nothing for him.
Yeah, they fleeced Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of all we got. If you're a member of DFS Army, hit us up in Discord, all that fun stuff. If you're not, what are you doing? Join us, please. I just upset gears, by the way. Just upset. Join us. In the description below is a link. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen, our best coupon code, BOOK, B-O-O-K, gets you 20% off any subscription with us at DFS Army. That'll get you, access to the site, access to us in Discord, which to me, I think Discord's the biggest piece of that. The DS and optimizer and all that stuff being a close second, but that's all we got. We're off tomorrow, back Friday around the same time. More games to worry about on Friday, probably twice as big of a slate, if not more. But we're out. Best of luck and helmets up.
Got the best coaches in the game. We really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block. Helmet's casket is high. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision. We got too many. Get the check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted.